Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Canton Fair, and specifically whether you need to go to the Canton Fair to be successful on Amazon. You know, I actually get a lot of questions from people in my mastermind group asking me about what makes a successful winning product. You know, how do you go about doing product research? What are the key criteria? Should I be going to the Canton Fair? You know, do I need to go to the Canton Fair, China, to meet with factories and to see them face to face to be successful on Amazon FBA? Well, in this video, I'm going to be breaking down, answering those questions, addressing the question of, do you need to go to the Canton Fair to be successful on Amazon? If you guys don't know, my name is Lamar and I'm a 7-figure Amazon FBA seller. Before we jump into today's video, I wanted to make sure you guys have clicked that subscribe button, you turn on the notification bell, and you're giving this video a thumbs up if you're getting value out of it. You know, I'm here trying to provide value to you guys so you can go out there and crush it on Amazon FBA and build a successful, super successful Amazon FBA business. And like I said in this video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the Canton Fair and whether you need to go to be successful on it. I'm going to start this video off with a little bit of a backstory. I don't know if you guys know, but I used to live in Shanghai, China. I lived in China for 3 years directly after I graduated college. Funny enough, while I was in China, I really didn't do anything with sourcing or looking for factories. I was purely working at a technology company. And you could say that, like, me knowing the culture, I can also speak Chinese. That has helped me a little bit in this business, but I wouldn't say that it's a requirement at all. And I didn't have any, experience with dealing with factories or sourcing beyond the cultural element before I started this business. At the end of 2015, though, after living in China for those past 3 years, I decided to move back home. And I moved back home with my parents, and I was basically, kind of going through this phase of trying to figure out what I wanted to do next. Here I was living at home. I didn't have any expenses really. I was kind of living for free, and I started looking for jobs, as probably most people would after they would move back from a foreign country. But luckily enough, I had a conversation with my uncle, and he asked me what I wanted to do. And I gave him the truth. I told him that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a serial entrepreneur. And he said, well, if that's what you want to do, then there's no better time than to start now. Here you're living at home with no expenses with your parents. And he said, now's the best time to start. And I think that that's a key lesson, is there is no better time to start than right now. It's not tomorrow, it's right now. So if you're in a similar situation and you've been thinking about this, you've been toying around with the idea of starting an Amazon FBA business, starting an e-commerce business, you're never going to feel prepared enough. You're always going to think, oh, I need a little bit more information. Oh, I need to understand this point a little bit more. Oh, I need to do a little bit more product research. The truth is, you're never going to feel ready, and the best time to start is right now. Start taking action. So that's exactly what I did. I started taking action and pursuing the idea of starting my own business. I really didn't know exactly what business I wanted to start. I just started doing research around the idea of starting my own business. I had a bunch of business ideas that I started to comb through and slowly started to narrow it down. And one thing led to the next, and I started doing research about selling online, and I found out or came across the Amazon FBA opportunity. I kept digging into it, doing more research, looking up YouTube videos, much like you're probably doing right now as well. And then I learned about Jungle Scout and doing product research and looking at the sales data with Jungle Scout. And honestly, I only had 3 tools basically available to me. It was my computer, which quite frankly wasn't even my computer. I was using my parents' computer. I had the Jungle Scout research tool, which was a key tool in allowing myself and you guys to do research into markets and know exactly what good or potential viable markets there are out there for us to launch a product in. And the third tool that I had was my research ability. And I do think that your research ability is a crucial skill or tool that you need to develop to be successful in this business model. But I had those 3 tools, and I continued to hone in and drill down and use them, continue to do more research. Essentially, that's all that I had when I started this business model. And I built a massive list of all of these different product ideas. I might have had a couple hundred of different product ideas, and I continued to narrow it down. I started doing deeper research into the niche market. I started to ask my questions about how am I going to differentiate my product from the competition? Is there enough demand in this market? How am I going to provide a better product and serve this customer base? So basically, I narrowed down this list of 100 different, product ideas down to about 10. And I started then going on to Alibaba. Now, if you haven't heard of Alibaba, I'm sure you have, but if you haven't, it's a massive website database filled with suppliers. Most of them are in Asia or located in China, but it gives us direct access to talk to factories that can go out there and provide or build the product that you're looking to build. So I came across Alibaba, and I started doing research into the different products that I wanted to manufacture, started outreaching to these factories. And one thing that I realized while I was doing this process is that it's actually incredibly easy to get in contact with these factories. I was worried about language barrier. I was worried about the quality of the products. I was worried about whether they were even legitimate factories. And after doing this now, I have to, say quite frankly that a lot of these factories are good. They are high quality. They are looking for international customers. Of course, we do need to do our research, and we need to comb through, and we need to evaluate them, much like any other type of business relationship that you would develop. However, that's just part of the process of weeding out the bad ones, to say, and going with a strong partner that's going to be eventually able to produce your product. In my opinion, the single biggest factor to a successful relationship with your factory, whether you find that factory on Alibaba or whether it's going to the Canton Fair and finding a supplier there, is it's going to come down to trust. Do you trust this individual, the salesperson, the factory, to deliver the quality product that you're looking to manufacture? Now, I've, of course, dealt with poor quality factories, but I've never not received my product or good. And I've never really heard of anybody, at least in my circle, maybe we've all gotten lucky, I've never heard of anyone getting ripped off so badly that they never get their product at all. We've always been able to salvage the product, or if there was a quality issue, improve that quality. Basically, if there's been issues with the factory or the quality of the product in any way, we've been able to work through them successfully with the factory and still deliver our final product. I think we hear a lot of horror stories, and I think that most of them are just based around fear. Of course, there's every so often going to be a bad egg out there. There's going to be a bad factory, and you might have the unfortunate circumstance of running into one of them, right? So there's things that we can do to leverage our ability to make sure that things like that don't happen to us. But quite honestly, like I said, most of my experience with Alibaba has been positive, and I think that most people out there are just fearful of contacting a factory in China or overseas and getting them to build and supply your product. And actually, the concept of fear is probably more dangerous to your business than the actual factory itself. Don't let fear prevent you from taking the next step and taking action with pursuing this business model. I think it's also important to note that I've since now hired a sourcing person, a sourcing and quality person located over in China that strictly works for me and handles a lot of the relationships with the factory. And still to this day, we still use the same factories that I found using Alibaba. A lot of those relationships are still very strong. We've been working with them for over 3 years now. So we've built up a lot of reputation with them that goes into helping us get higher or better, helping us get better payment terms and better pricing on our products. But the point being is that we're still using the same factories that I found on Alibaba, even despite the fact that I've been to the Canton Fair now several times. So going back to the original question, or the point of this video is, do you need to go to the Canton Fair to be successful on Amazon? The answer is absolutely no. You don't have to go to the Canton Fair to be successful or to start an e-commerce business and utilize the Amazon FBA model. Now, like I said, I have been to the Canton Fair several times, and it is a great place to go to have a faster feedback loop. You can talk directly to the factories and you can meet with them face to face. You can bring them your product idea. They can quote you on the spot. You can kind of do some iteration, or the communication of back and forth between the factory and yourself can happen in live time, and you don't have to deal with the back and forth of email or potential miscommunication. Or you may be able to do a better job of evaluating the quality of the factory in person. So there are definitely some advantages to going to the Canton Fair. So there are some definitely advantages of going to the Canton Fair, but is a requirement? No. So to summarize here, guys, do you need to go to the Canton Fair to be successful on Amazon FBA? The answer is no. And you want to stick to the basics. As I said at the beginning of this video, research, computer, and the tools. Those are the main fundamental aspects of how this business starts. And that's really all you need to get started, get off the ground, and start getting the pieces rolling, start getting the ball rolling to set you up for massive success on Amazon. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please drop a comment below. Minimally click that thumbs up button if you got value out of today's video, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.